Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Opinions That Matter. I hope you all are loving this new segment wherein we speak to the brands who have performed exceptionally well last year. This time, we got an opportunity to speak with Electral, a brand that is known and has touched all our lives. A go-to brand when it comes to doctors, athletes, and even for all of us when we are looking out for a rehydrating solution. I welcome the team from Electral to discuss with us the nuances of marketing. Megha, welcome to Opinions That Matter. Now, Electral has been around for more than 50 years, and I believe you guys had celebrated 50 years of Electral last year. This is the 51st year of Electral in India, rehydrating lives of the population. Now, talk to us about the journey of Electral right from when you had launched to today. How has the journey been?
So, talking about Electral's journey, like every great brand has a story to tell. And here I would like to depict Electral's journey through a story. So the story dates back right until 1960s when possibly the world as a whole was battling with diarrhea. And you had almost like 4.6 million children dying globally every year due to diarrhea. Now, diarrhea is a serious condition. All the more serious was the outcome, that is dehydration. So in the 1970s, earlier WHO, UNICEF came together and introduced, recommended, distributed oral rehydration solution, as we commonly know as the ORS, in those years. Thereafter, under the leadership of the young visionary then, Mr. Anand Chandavarkar, we launched Electral. Electral took birth in the year 1972 to beat clinical dehydration. And rest, as they say, is history. But thereon, Electral has achieved several milestones. Today, as you know, that Electral is a 300 crore brand, as you can see in the market. Now, this journey has been quite an interesting, quite an incredible one. Electral was launched in the green and white packet, which we all have seen, and possibly today that packet is a household name. Electral is a household name, which we all know and possibly relate to. Ever since then, we continued to launch our unit dose packs. Thereon, we went ahead, keeping in mind, all the while throughout the entire journey, we kept just one thing at the core and center, and that is the patient benefit. So keeping that in mind, it was important to meet the market dynamics, to continuously evolve in this market. And there we came out with our Electral in a ready-to-drink format, which offered compliance, convenience, especially when you consider children as a population. That's pretty much the need of the hour. So Electral, though launched as a green and white packet, which we all resonate to very, very well, it went on to further launching the unit dose. Again, just keeping in mind one factor, the compliance and convenience. Thereafter, looking at the dynamics, the generations that moved on required something which is ready to drink, which is more compliant. In that sense, we launched Electral ready to drink, which was easy to consume, easy to carry anywhere. So if I look at a brand Electral, yes, we were launched in 1972. And today, as we complete 50 long years of rehydrating lives, there are several milestones that Electral can take pride in, whether it is in the form of a launch, even till date, if I have to say. We recently launched a first time in India brand by the name of Electral Z+. Again, a combination which was never there in the first time in the market, and a combination to once again beat clinical dehydration. Obviously, the indication here is different. But yes, under utilizing the brand equity of Electral, we continue to evolve, and we're sure that we'll continue to achieve many more such milestones in the days and years to come.
And that's quite inspiring, honestly speaking. Now, I'm sure in these 50 years, you must have also been through a lot of hurdles and roadblocks. How did you take care of those aspects?
So talking about hurdles, setbacks, challenges, hurdles, however you put it, is possibly a part of every brand's path to success. So if I look at it, what were the setbacks? What were the challenges? Possibly I would put it as challenges rather than setbacks. Yes, when we started off, there was a lot of discussion on what we call as the WHO approved osmolarity of 245 milliosmol per liter. Now, this was not difficult because at that point in time, there were a lot of discussions, a lot of debates. which actually went into understanding what is the right osmolarity drink which could actually create the difference, which would offer benefits to the patient, whether it was in terms of reducing stool output, vomiting, whatever be the case. So there were a lot of discussions, it took us time, and it really took a lot of references, a lot of science that went in through, a lot of discussions that went in through to actually prove that yes, 245 milliosmol per liter is the right osmolarity ORS, and we had several data which came on board and proved that effectiveness of any formula would be improved if we followed this approved osmolarity of 245 milliosmol per liter. And finally, then this got coined as the WHO approved osmolarity, because there were a lot of discussions wherein we had a WHO formula which was different. Then there was a lot of discussion, and finally now this 245 milliosmol per liter, which is true to Electral, actually came as a WHO approved osmolar solution, and today that is what is being recognized again and again, reaffirmed by the medical fraternity. So if I look at setbacks, if I look at challenges, possibly this was one of the biggest challenges that, now this was not recent, this was long years ago. And today, like any other brand would face, yes, we do face challenges in the routine, which we as a brand are overcoming day in and day out, whether it is threat from the local competition, whether it is threat from other players in the liquid segment. So there are challenges day in and day out, but I'm sure as a brand leader, we will be able to overcome these challenges as well.
When I talk about Electral, the first thing that comes to my mind is the brand equity that Electral enjoys. And how have you capitalized on that equity of being a known brand in the market and trying to build upon that to increase your customer base, increase the volumes, increase the sales? How have you gone about doing that?
Great question. So talking about brand equity, as you rightly mentioned, yes, Electral has a very strong, respectable brand equity that today we are proud of. Now, while this is there, at the same time, as brand leaders, it becomes a responsibility for us to educate, to make people more and more aware, because awareness is the key over here. Until and unless you're not aware, you will not act. So as a brand leader, it becomes our responsibility, in order to capitalize on the market, we need to make people aware. When I say people, it could be a patient, it could be a consumer directly. We need to make them aware that yes, it is not just about rehydration with water, but it is about rehydration with water plus electrolytes. And that is the need of the hour. So when we are talking about dehydration as an indication here, now dehydration is the loss of water and fluids and electrolytes. And how do you replenish that? With an oral rehydration solution. So we do that by, again, like I said, a lot of initiatives that we have in place. Continuously, the agenda here is that we need to make them aware, not just about what is an oral rehydration solution, but also about the right hydration practices. Because it's very easy for people to switch over to, let's say, a high sugar drink when you're dehydrated. But is that the right way of doing so? The answer is no. So if I have to simply put, again, being the brand leader, having such a strong equity, how do I capitalize further on the market? It is only going to be through a further aggressive communication. Communication coupled with a lot of awareness at all levels, involving all stakeholders, because every stakeholder here is important, will be the key to capitalize, consolidate my share in the market today and grow on that.
So if I were to ask you, how have you worked on the mind market share in the marketplace? I'm sure there are new brands that have entered the market. There's a lot that can be done when it comes to increasing your mind market share. How have you gone about with that?
Mind market share. So if I look at mind market share, it is all about how do I create top of the mind brand recall. So it's all about recall. Now for us, this was not easy. Again, it required a lot of efforts. And all the more, it is the trust which has been there on the brand ever since that has helped us scale up this journey the way you're seeing it today. So yes, if I look at how do I achieve the mind market share, or how do I achieve top of the mind brand recall, here the most important thing is what and how am I communicating. So how am I communicating? The aggression with which I'm communicating, what I'm communicating, because today we are in a cluttered market. We have a lot of players, we have a lot of brands which mushroom in season and then go off, which have very secured short-term interest. We have brands which are misleading the market. So we have a cluttered market which have players of different kind of origin, players of different kind of agendas. But Electral today has created or is trying to continue and create that top of the mind brand recall with a very clear cut positioning in place. So when I talk about positioning, we call ourselves the WHO, original WHO laws. So we are a WHO formula, we are original. So when we say original, it adds a lot of trust, it adds a lot of credibility. And yes, today Electral is positioned as a life savior when it comes to clinical dehydration. So this possibly has been a very big plus point, and that is how doctors, consumers, customers relate to brand Electral. The moment you hear of, you see Electral, the first thing that you know that yes, I am in safe hands. So that is the kind of trust, that is the kind of legacy Electral as a brand has been built upon. And through our communication tactics, we continue to build upon this single point agenda that doctor, this is the brand that has been associated with you in the last 50 years. Because as you know, doctors have been associated with this brand for long years, and they have a trust which they place on the brand. So this is a very important factor, and this has helped the brand in a very big way, the trust and the dependability. And this has come why? This has come only because one, of the quality that we offer, and second, the originality that we claim, and third, because of the benefits that we offer as a brand. So because it's not just quality, quality has to come with the offering, the customer benefits. So all in all, through our communication, through our tactics, we try and communicate these points very aggressively and time and again hammer onto these points so that we can create that top of the mind recall in the doctor's space. Talking about consumers, the agenda there is to make the consumers aware, to be visible. So through visibility, we create a lot of visibility, and at the same time, we educate our consumers through doctors. We educate our consumers through a lot of social and digital initiatives so that everybody is aware today as to what is the right kind of oral rehydration solution that one must take. So this is how we try and create top of the mind recall, and as you said, achieve the mind market share in such a competitive landscape.
Okay, so now last but not the least, I would love to know the vision of this brand. What do you envision for Electral in the next 50 years?
Vision for the brand Electral. So I'm sure you have heard when you go to, or rather you must have practiced this when you go to a Kirana store and ask for water. You don't say water, you say mujhe ek bisleri dena. Our vision for the brand is, yes, today we know that ORS is synonymous to Electral, or that's how we want to perceive it. But going by the years, in the years to come, we want that anyone who asks for an oral rehydration solution or ORS only thinks of Electral and purchases only an Electral. That is the long-term vision for the brand we have.
That's quite an ambitious plan, Megha, but I truly believe this is possible and you are the one who can make it work. I look forward to buying Electral as a rehydrating solution on the grocery stores in the coming few years. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you for joining us today morning. I hope you all have a lovely day ahead.